Well, let's get into the match review. Obviously, 4-0 win yesterday at Villa Park. And you got to say, like, as much as, the last couple of games we've been playing really well, and we did play well in the second half yesterday, but is there a lot to be said about getting a 4-0 win away at Villa Park, where Aston Villa has probably been the best we've seen them play this season, and not to be at your best?
Of course, and that's what good teams do. I was saying to Sai on the way home. It reminded me very similarly to when we played Chelsea early in the season. First half, I know maybe we didn't kind of onslaught Chelsea as much as Villa did, but first half we were very much in the game.
Which game are you talking about?
Earlier in the season under Nuno.
The first time we played them.
Yeah, we lost 3-0. Like we were on top of them first half. We were pressing really well. We were looking creative, we were looking like we can hurt Chelsea. We obviously didn't force Ed Mendy into as many saves as they forced Lloris into, but we were creating situations, and it was looking like we were well in the game, and it was at the very least very even, if not Tottenham were the better team. And then second half, everything changed, and they get on early goal, and we lost all our belief, and we ended up losing 3-0. And no one remembers that we played well in the first half, because everyone remembers, look, there was a 3-0 scoreline. And obviously 4-0 flattered us yesterday over the course of 90 minutes. I'm not going to sit here and say that we were 4 goals better than Villa over 90 minutes. We weren't. But what good teams do is when you're in tough moments like we were in the first half, first of all, we have a top quality keeper who I keep saying is top quality in Hugo Lloris. He bailed us out time and time again in that first half. 7 saves in the first half, and a few of them were absolutely world class. A few of them were absolutely world class as well. Like, they weren't just, a lot of them were just standard saves, so a few of them was incredible. I don't know how he kept that out. Honestly, I don't know how he kept that one out. I thought the one from Jacob Ramsey, one-handed, tipped over the bar, unbelievable reaction save. And obviously, we did have a lead to protect as well, because it was a world-class finish from Son after 3 minutes, and which obviously put us on the right track. And we're thinking, all right, this might be maybe not as hard, difficult game as we thought. And then obviously they turned out very differently in that first half. But I think Villa posed us some questions in that first half with their tactical setup, which maybe we hadn't been asked before, in terms of two good strikers in Watkins and Ings causing us problems. And then you had the three of Coutinho, Ramsey and McGinn, with Louise backed up in behind, all in central areas, and we struggled to cope with that. I think Bentancur and Højbjerg were massively struggling to cope with who to mark, and then backed up by that, you got the two strikers up front, up against our 3 centre-backs, and they're finding all sorts of spaces in behind. When Coutinho and Ramsey were picking up the ball, in central areas, we were struggling big time to contain them and to limit their spaces, and they were getting all sorts of joy in the central areas, and especially as well playing out from the back, something which I've said I don't think is an issue. In terms of, it can look bad like it has done a lot this season, but I think it's a necessary evil to draw the opposition out. But yesterday, Villa was super, super aggressive, and we couldn't play out from the back. They were closing down every single passing lane to a really good degree. And that was something we really badly struggled with in the first half, and we were very, very lucky to go in at half-time 1-0 up.
Yeah, we were. And, when you're coming into the game yesterday, you're seeing the Man United result, you're seeing the Arsenal result, everything seems to be going our way. And you're thinking, all right, what Spurs how are we going to come out the blocks here? How are we going to come out with the first time with real pressure under us? And it looked like we came out like a house on fire. Started off with that brilliant goal from Son. Obviously, the ball goes all the way over the top from Eric Dyer. Headed down to Harry Kane. He takes a snapshot. That gets blocked. And then
going well wide.
Yeah, then that gets blocked, and then it falls to Heung-min Son. Absolutely dynamite finish from
snapshot.
Son.
Left foot.
Absolutely brilliant. But then after that goal, you're thinking, all right, we're in a game here, early goal. We're going to invite Villa onto us and hit them. But it just didn't work out like that whatsoever. They suffocated us, they penned us in, they were super aggressive with us, and we just couldn't get out.
Yeah, that's another thing I think is definitely worth mentioning, is how not just aggressive they were from a pressing point, I thought from the strength of their challenges as well. Some of them were pretty disgusting, actually. I felt they were trying to bully us out of that game, I felt, a lot of the time. And I'm happy there were cases where Højbjerg and Kane actually stood up for themselves. I know Højbjerg got a booking, but I think it was necessary to give something back, because the referee wasn't protecting our players. Mings, I thought, was very lucky not to have seen at least a yellow. Could have easily been a red if the injury was worse to Kulusevski. I thought that challenge on Kulusevski was disgusting. That was really hard challenging, and his foot was planted. And if an inch,
about the one from Mings,
yeah,
with the studs up in the
yeah,
ankle.
and you know, an inch to the left or right, and we could be talking about an ACL for Kulusevski.
How he didn't get booked there.
At least, like, I thought it was horrible.
When I saw it, I was like, VAR is definitely going to go back to this and have a look, and maybe even a red card, and nothing.
I thought it was horrible. Doherty,
like live at the stadium, could you see?
Yeah, I thought that was at least a yellow. I thought it was a disgusting challenge when I first saw it, and then I was surprised he didn't get booked at all. He just got a word, a talking to, and I think, to be fair, we'll talk about it a bit later, but I think Kulusevski got his own back sitting him down for that fourth goal. But yeah, that could have been really bad. If you've seen it again as well on the replay, his leg was in a bad position, and it could have really been a bad injury for Kulusevski. Obviously, Doxey was forced off injured. I haven't seen the challenge again, whatever it was, from Matt Cash, but he forced him off.
I think Doherty, he kept trying to come back on as well. 3 times he had to go. He went down, and you know, Conte was saying in the post-match press conference that he doesn't think it's too bad, or he doesn't hope it's too bad.
He said he does. He hope it's not serious, but we don't know yet.
Apparently, he was wearing support on his leg or something. So
not good.
Let's hope it's not too bad. And like, who would have thought a few months ago we'd be sitting here thinking a Doherty injury is going to be
detrimental? Yeah. Yeah, it is. 100% it is. And I thought he actually started the game pretty well as well. Obviously, before going off injured. Ings was putting in some challenges as well, some really rough challenges. So I thought they were clearly told. There was a clear instruction to go in hard on us, I think, in that first half. And it nearly worked because we weren't able to get any sort of passing moves together. We had a couple counter-attacks. I know Reguilon had a chance, didn't he, which we nearly scored from. But we couldn't get any passing out from the back.
I felt like it was so frustrating.
They were bullying us.
So frustrating watching us in that first half, especially the likes of Emerson. Because I thought every time Emerson got on the ball, he just made a sloppy pass out to nobody. So what we were saying is, I think that, you know, coming the latter stages of that first half, I was like, we need half-time, we need half-time, we need half-time, we need half-time. Half-time came. Luckily, we never conceded like we probably should have more than once in that first half because of Hugo Lloris madness. But then second half, like you say, we went more direct. We started thinking it over the top. Romero was influential in that. Obviously, the ball comes out to Harry Kane. He plays it through to Kulusevski. Kulusevski, absolute dynamite, wasn't it? Absolute dynamite.
Yeah.
Takes the ball, shifts and shoots, finds the bottom corner. And then from then on, I felt like there was only one team in this game. And I felt like the game was pretty much done after that second goal.
I think once we got the second goal, we started the second half a bit like we started the first half as well, like very quickly getting that goal. And once we got the second goal, I think it sapped the belief out of Aston Villa. They seemed to think, I think with all the energy they'd put into the game and to be 2-0 down, I think the belief had dissipated from that team and they stopped pressing us to the extent they were. They weren't as aggressive as well. They weren't committing the fouls and stuff, apart from obviously Ashley Young very late on. They weren't doing the fouls and stuff on us like they were doing in the first half. And all of a sudden, it became a bit of an easy ride for us in that second half. But yeah, I think the change in tactic of going more direct in that second half must have been something Conte got into them at half time because it was very deliberate. And Kane, recently, he's getting a lot of assists from his flick-ons, isn't he? He got one at West Ham for the 3-1, and he got 2 yesterday, 2 brilliant assists for the flick-on.
That flick-on for our third goal, when Sonny went through on goal, was absolutely world class. I thought it was so good, man. The way Romero hits it over the top, and Harry Kane just has one look behind him, and bang, Sonny is through on goal. Absolutely world class.
Yeah, I saw that when I was watching it live as well. I saw him take a live view on the vlog. I mentioned it. I was like, he takes one look behind him, then he does a brilliant flick, and right into his path as well. He knew exactly where to play. It was like a well-weighted pass with his head. It was exceptional. To do that with one little flick is so hard to do. To kind of take enough pace off the ball that it doesn't go too far ahead, but keep enough pace on it that it goes right into Son's path. The weight of a flick on was beautiful to see, and I can't believe Kane was able to pull that off with such precision, which he did. And then obviously there's Heung-min Son running through on goal, clinical as ever. And I've said this, I said it earlier, Son is the best player in the league when running through on goal. I don't think there's a better player than him using that space like that when he's beyond the last defender. He's so clinical, and he's hard to stop, man. He's so hard to stop, and he does a very deliberate thing where he just takes a touch across the defender, so he knows any touch from defender, bring him down, it's probably a red card and stopping a goal score, but you say can't touch him. So he gets in that awkward position, and then look, left foot, right foot, he doesn't care, does he? He can finish on either one, and the third one was clinical, really clinical finish. And then we had more Conte ball for the fourth one.
Yeah, absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning, that fourth goal. How many players were involved in that goal for that?
Seemed just Son and Kulusevski, to be honest.
Yeah,
but
it did seem like that.
Yeah,
but everyone was in goal. But that Kulusevski work at the byline
brilliant.
Was absolutely sensational. At the last moment, he shifts onto his left foot, passes it to Heung-min Son. And Sonny was at his clinical best yesterday. I mean, haven't seen Sonny as clinical as that for a while. Like 3 goals, hat-trick.
He has scored a hat-trick since Southampton last year.
But like the finishes, man. The finishes were off the inside of the post. Bang. You can't save those.
All 3 were completely clinical. So clinical. 2 with his left foot, 1 with his right as well. The keeper had absolutely no chance on either one. His finishing was masterful. We know he has that in him because we've seen it time and time again.
Of course. When are we going to talk about Sonny for in the running for Player of the Year or Team of the Year or something like that? Because he's 20 goals is Mo Salah. He's only at 17 now. When are we going to talk about him being contender for goal of the Golden Boot?
I think the conversation starts here. He's very much a contender for Golden Boot, and as much as how we talk about Harry Kane, I think Kane maybe in the last 3 games has sacrificed himself at the altar of Son because...
You still think he's going to get 20 goals, Harry Kane?
I think he's still got a good chance, but yeah, it's looking unlikely at this point. He needs 8 goals in 7 games to get that 20. So I think at this point, I don't think he even cares. I think
with the role he's playing, it will be hard. Yeah.
I think Conte's drilled it into him that he's got to make sacrifices for the team if we're gonna make sure that we get top 4, and that's what he's doing. As much as he's not getting the goals, he has got. I think in his last 3 games, he might not have any goals, but I think he has 7 assists or 6 assists in his last 3 games. Yeah. Exceptional form. I mean, that even though he's not scoring, he's still making a big impact. And I think he's also, in terms of best playmaker, I think he's getting close to Trent Alexander-Arnold, who I think is top at the moment for most assists in the league.
Yeah, I think there's still quite a gap between them. I do think there's quite a gap between them, but it's like I can't believe when I looked at the goal scoring chance how close Salah and Son are now.
If you take away penalties, Son is top goal scorer.
I know, which is crazy. So you got Trent Alexander-Arnold on 11 and you got Harry Kane on 8. So I guess they're not too far away.
He's not too far. 3 assists.
Yeah.
And the way Kane's playing, he could overtake that next game.
Yeah.
The way he's playing. We've got Brian at home. Obviously, we'll talk about Arsenal in a sec, but I was just happy that we reacted well to that in that first half. We were clinical in the second. I do think, though, obviously, I'm not saying I'm not happy with how we're playing, because I am. I do think that we are literally scoring with every shot on target at the moment, which is it's like a ridiculous.
We had 5 shots on target yesterday.
Well, there you go. But like, we're not like, this isn't like Man City where we have 20 shots and scoring 5. We are being very clinical. However, what you do have to say is the quality of chances we're creating. These aren't like pot shots from nowhere where you say, oh, he's lucky. Just like for example, like Son's goal in the North London derby last year.
Yeah.
These aren't like goals like that. These are goals where we've got ourselves in very highly likely goal scoring positions, and and like it's not a surprise we scored them. But to score with majority of your shots on target over the past 2 games, you have to say that's unsustainable. We're going to have to start making more chances. But as long as we're being clinical, I mean, you got to say, can't argue with it, and it's unbelievable.
I think that we are creating openings and chances. We're just not getting the shots off on target through them. So I think that we are playing really well as an attacking unit. You can't track Kulu, Son, Kane, the wing backs as well, really pushing up high and adding to it. So I think yesterday was that, because in the first half we played a bad game. We weren't good in the first half. But second half we came alive. A bit similar to Newcastle. Newcastle didn't put us anywhere near as much pressure as Aston Villa did, but it was a bit similar. You know how we weren't that good in the first half, and the second half we came alive.
And maybe it's just a case of Conte taking a bit of time to figure out the opposition, and then once he's come up with a plan, we execute it in that second half once he's figured it out.
But what I'm saying is to have 5 or 6 shots on target in a second half.
Yeah, it's good.
Is a lot of chances, right? Is a lot of chances.
Yeah, it is. It is, but to score every single one of them takes like elite, that's really clinical.
I'm saying is we don't need to score all of them to win the games.
No,
we're scoring all of them to batter teams.
Yeah, exactly. Which I kept saying is there's a big difference at the moment is that we're scoring so many goals, and that can stand us in good stead when you get into that stage. Because even if you're playing not as good as you were before, that could mean you only win 1 or 2-0 as opposed to 4 or 5, which we are at the moment, And yeah, I guess let's talk about how this result has affected in the context of the top 4 race. As you say, United lost 1-0 to Everton in what was a dreadful, lethargic display. They look like they're on the beach already, Man United.
1-0 Brentford.
And Brentford are 1-0 up as well. There you go.
In Buemo.
That's very good news. Very good news.
I think Kurt Zuma went off injured as well.
Even better news.
Leicester 2-0.
Yeah, there you go. In Buemo. Lovely finish into the near post. I'm just watching it now. Good stuff.
You got it up there.
Yeah, why not? So look, with West Ham losing as well. But I think, to be honest, as much as it was a good result, Man United losing, and it's good that West Ham winning, I don't really believe they actually had the capability of overtaking us right now. The way they're
when
playing,
you're only 3 points in it.
Yeah, you got exactly. They have to. No, you have to be happy about them dropping points. But with the way these guys are playing, I never really fully believed they were going to go on a run and challenge us. The way we're playing at the moment. I think
we said it consistently throughout the season. Anyway.
Yeah, I think Man United now, last 2 games, considering the games Man United have as well coming up, they've got very tough. Like if you think Arsenal's games are tough, look at Man United's are even tougher. And to draw at home to Leicester and lose away at Everton when you're fighting for 4th place, we're now 6 points above them, and they still got to go to. I know we got to go to Anfield, but they got to go to Anfield. They got to play West Ham. They got to play Arsenal. They've got some very difficult games, and Chelsea, I still believe as well, and Chelsea as well. No,
they don't have Chelsea.
You sure?
Yeah, I've got their fixtures here. So they got Norwich at home next, which you got to say 3 points probably. Then Liverpool away, Arsenal away, Brentford at home. That's 3 very difficult games there. And then they go away to Brighton and away to Palace last 2 games of the season.
I swear they had Chelsea again. All right. So yeah, look, and those are going to be very, very difficult games for them. So then they're going to drop a lot of points. And they have to catch up 6 points on us plus goal difference. I'm sure we're well ahead of them goal differences now. Goal difference now.
We are, yeah.
So then it comes down to Arsenal, and obviously they had a massive blip against Palace. With injuries and everything, and the result and performance. Everyone's, I was watching a bit of Arsenal content in the midweek, and everyone was still, as much as they were worried, they were still thinking, look, if we can get Tavares and Lokonga and all these players in the lineup, and we go again and just make it into a blip and not panic after one loss. Brighton at home are, let's be honest, the perfect opposition in these scenarios. You wouldn't if you were to pick one team to play just after a bad defeat, it's probably Brighton at home.
Yeah, either
right
Brighton
now.
or Norwich, one of the two.
I'm saying on the form they are right now. They're not scoring any goals. They've lost 6 and drawn 1 of their last 7 games. They're on torrid form. They can't score a goal at all. They're struggling.
What did I say to you in the preview? It's got vibes of that Everton game. I said to you, I've been saying it all week, have I not?
You have.
And
you're right.
All week, and it exactly played out to a T.
And watching that game, Arsenal crumbled for the second time in a week. They obviously went 1-0 down early on. They looked really bad and really. I think actually Arteta as well. I think he maybe suffered a bit of pepitis the way he overcomplicated things, because I think he had a couple of injuries, but he completely ripped it all up and changed everything. It's like, why not just put left back at left back, just keep Xhaka in centre mid, and then all of a sudden you got a bit of stability. But he changed it all. He put Xhaka at left back, and he put Smith Rowe and Odegaard in centre mid, and he put Lokonga in. It's like, what are you doing?
I was listening to Lee Judges last night on the Tavares situation, and he was saying, which I thought was bloody hilarious, and I think he was spot on as well. It's like, if you're not going to play Tavares against Brighton at home when you don't have a left back, which for argument's sake, he's their only backup left back. then when are you going to play him? Are you going to play him at West Ham? Are you going to play him at Chelsea? Are you going to play him at Man United? If you're not going to play him at Brighton at home, when are you going to play him?
But I think, when did that first goal came from someone getting in behind on the left, didn't it? And they cut it back to Trossard. So I think Arteta actually, I don't know whether he panicked or what it was, but I think he was guilty of overthinking the situation.
That's what he did.
And they were. I know they had a little late rally near the end where they obviously scored, and didn't they hit the bar from a free kick? And they nearly
hit the bar a few times. I think
hit the bar from a free kick, and then the follow up they hit the bar again.
Hit the bar as well.
I'm saying that was the same move. So they had that moment, but other than that, they looked like they ran out of ideas, and losing to a Brighton team in this kind of form was not in the script. And now, with them losing these kind of games, with the way they're playing, the injuries they've got, and the fixtures they've got coming up, it's gone from within 2 games. It's gone from Arsenal in pole position and Arsenal, have it in their own hands, to now it almost needs a miracle all of a sudden.
Yeah, and that miracle can be in the form of a Tottenham injury. That's what it can come, because we saw yesterday on the pitch how aggressive Aston Villa were. I had my heart in my mouth every time a heavy challenge was going in on Harry Kane or Kulusevski. Because imagine if Harry Kane gets a big injury now and he's out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's bad, but it is bad. But when I say they need a miracle, they need to win against West Ham or United or Chelsea and probably the North London Derby. I'm not saying they need to win all 4, but they probably need to win probably 3 of those 4 at this stage, or 4 or 2 of those 4, and that's going to be a very tall order
when we go to Anfield, basically.
Yeah, and that's at the moment. Are they? Will they? I don't know. Well, and look, and it's going to be difficult if say we do get Kane injured, but are we able to beat a team like? Or win some home games with Kane injured, like Leicester at home or something, without Harry Kane? I would back us to. As much as I think how Kane is important, I still think we can win games without him. Right now,
I just don't think we can create the chances at will that we're at creating.
No, but I still think we can win games. I know it'll be more difficult, but I don't think we can go to Anfield to win. And I think the North London Derby might be difficult to win, but I still think the other games without Kane I would still put us at a good chance of winning those games even without Kane.
Mate, Arsenal losing to Brighton at home, we can't beat them at home without Harry Kane?
Of course we can.
I think we can.
And everyone talks about Spurs being a one-man team. Well, not everyone, Merson for most. But
whoever listens to Merson anyway.
But, like, their left back gets injured and they crumble. Their left back.
Well, and centre mid.
I'm sorry, Skip's been out for 3 months, and how long have we haven't had a left back? For big parts of the season. Reguilon and Session have both been injured for big parts. We had Doherty at left back on Sunday, and we won 5-1. So what's the excuse?
The fact of the matter is, Arsenal, they like to run these excuses like, injuries this, injuries that, all these excuses that they talk about. We've had detrimental injuries all throughout this whole season. Only very recently in this season, we've had our first choice defence consistently.
Yeah.
First time, pretty much. Romero's been out for a long stretch of time. Dyer's been out for a long stretch of time. That period when we were losing to Chelsea 3 times in a month, we had Tanganga, Sanchez and Davis as our back 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they had that kind of level of back 2 or back 4, whatever it is, for that stretch of time, they would be nowhere near the top 4 right now.
Completely agree. And I think they were... No, they're fortunate. They deserve to be challenging for the results they were getting, but I think it was built on unstable foundations.
It was built on the demise of Manchester United and the demise of Tottenham Hotspur. That's what it was built on.
Correct. And I think they were consistently getting results, to be fair to them. But we said it all throughout when January happened. If they get a few injuries, they will be in trouble. And that's so it's happened. You've got a couple of injuries, but like... If you're I know Partey's a big player for them, and Tierney's a good player, but if you're relying on a centre mid and left back staying fit the whole season to win games, then you're in trouble.
Yeah,
you're in big trouble, and I think that's what's being exposed now for Arsenal. And for those 2 losses, obviously it's not over yet because it's only 3 points. They still got a game in hand. I know all the other factors surrounding that, but. this could be a pivotal week in the top 4 race, and I think it seems it could be very much so. I think the way things are going.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's. Yeah. All right. I think that's the match preview. I think for today, 4-0. Obviously, a brilliant win against Aston Villa at Villa Park yesterday.